Hey guys, welcome to another installment of Tier Boys Weekly, or title in progress, working title. Anyway, once again, I'm your host, Jason, with the other half of the Tier Boys squad, Mr. Dre. How you doing, Dre?
Jason Derulo. Hey, what is up? I am doing very well. Just moved in to my new place. We started a little late because of me, of course. Living I would say I'm living by people say they live by coastal. I say I'm living by home still. Um, so I'm like running back and forth into like one house to another house to move all my stuff. But
You're like your own neighbor in a way,
I
you
am
know.
my own neighbor, and I hate that blackie. I'm tired of that blackie.
You
Ugh.
go to one house to get the mail, and then the other house to get the mail, and then
And I was like, I think someone's in my house. I think
it's
someone's
like, oh,
sleeping
it's
in my
me.
bed. Oh, it's me. But yeah, doing well. Blessed, man. Blessed, blessed, blessed.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
thank you.
Even though we kind of did a New Year
Yeah,
episode, just Happy New Year again. We're officially in the new year.
yeah,
How's
thank you.
everything on your end?
Yeah, no, it's been a while since we've gone back to, I guess, our weekly foolishness. But
Hmm.
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. I'm wrapping up stuff in grad school. Just starting the new semester, but wrapping up stuff from the
That's
last
dope.
semester. So, just keep moving forward ahead with that, man. Can't wait to see the new place when I'm over. But
That's dope.
yeah, no complaints on
My
my
girl
end.
actually saw the last episode, like the Soul episode and the Wonder Woman episode. One she watched. She was originally about to watch the Soul episode, but she saw that was like part two, so she watched the Wonder Woman episode, and she's like, "Oh, you guys are pretty good," because she always avoid watching us for some reason. She's like, "Oh, you
Yeah,
guys are pretty
she
funny."
got some work to
And
do.
then she said she only clicked because she was curious about the Soul. She's seen the movie and she liked it, and she legit said she cried like I was like, wow, really? She's like, yeah. It was like, it just made me thought about how good the movie was and stuff. I'm like, wow, well, cool. We got an extra fan, so hey, babe. So that's cool.
Yeah, you had to earn
I had to
her
earn her,
support.
so yeah. So
All right, you guys are trash, but we're still, hey, we're still growing each time. We're still figuring things out here.
after
Trying
what, like the
something.
10th episode of us
Yeah,
trying this,
yeah,
so
right. So all
that's
right, you
good.
guys are slightly less cringy, so I could deal with this. But yeah, going back to our regular format. After our movie reviews. We got some more foolishness, man. Just like you said with the new year, foolishness has already happened, and we're only 2 weeks in. So you want to get into it, man? Uh, Let me know when you're mentally prepared for all the
The
good
stormtroopers.
events that's happened. The stormtroopers, well, I don't know. They see themselves as the rebels, man, as the rebellion here. This is the biggest story so far. Only 2 weeks in, and the Capitol's been stormed. I know we're a little late to this, people, but this is still ongoing. This has been recorded before the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden. So there's been
Fake
talks.
news.
Hey man, there's been talks even of another riot probably happening with Trump supporters. So just be on the lookout in the coming days.
Where
What
are
what
they
happened?
communicating? Like, is there like a Trump like app that
There was
you get to
Parlor,
communicate? Yeah, but then they
which I'm
took that
not too
down.
familiar. I've never heard of Parlor
No, you told me
before.
you meet girls on Parler. That's what you told me, but I won't say
I
this on
never said
air.
it.
I won't say that on air.
I never.
No, they took that down the App Store. So I'm like, okay,
Oh
are
man.
they like? I think Trump supporters are like, back in the day, like
Ang-
I don't know, in Brit, like super, I don't know. I'm very bad at time periods. But anyway, when they used to do like these
oh.
secret meetings and everything and like
Yeah,
encrypted, are Trump supporters doing that? Are they like
probably.
doing I was like, wow, like they're not using the internet. They can't use the internet because like there's no chat rooms
Yeah, you
that's
get
gonna
kicked
allow
out of the
this.
platform. The fact that Um,
Maybe they're zooming. They're
People
zooming.
like of all things, universal Twitter access. That's the thing that the supporters support. And what do you think, man? Well, there's so much to dissect with the this event that all the stuff that's come out of this quote unquote insurrection. It's white people, so you say insurrection, not riot. Um, what First thing, hey, Trump's banned from Twitter. Um, like, is that censorship? I know there's been back and forth with that. His First Amendment right. I mean, Twitter's a
Is but
private
but it's but
platform.
it's that's why I hate when
You
people
know,
say that. Like Twitter could do anything they want. They're
it's
like,
not the
we're gonna
government.
ban Andre. Who care? Like they could do anything they want. They're not, like you said, they're not a government. So every time people make the argument, it's a it's infringing on First Amendment rights. Don't be on Twitter if you're gonna complain about, like, legit. There's other apps you could use. Twitter isn't the end on be all. It's not like you're talking
Yeah,
about something and then like, hey, I'm gonna fine you. Two, our speech is still limited, even though everyone's talking about if someone says, um, I'm about to kill the president. Guess what? That person could get in trouble. You heard of
investigated.
investigate? Did you
Used
hear
against
about,
them. That's why you're always
students?
careful.
I got a
That's the number
bomb.
one rule. That's
Yeah,
the thing. I got a bomb. There's a fire. I'm gonna start a fire. I'm gonna shoot
literally,
up the
literally. I'm gonna give
school.
you an example at work.
I'm gonna
Someone,
kill you.
I'll
Like
give you
like
an
actually
example.
kill. There's all this stuff, man, and that's why people say social media can use against you.
Yeah, I'll give you an
You know.
example at work.
Yeah.
Not gonna disclose where I work at, but somebody wrote, because we get to see all whoever writes in the chat. Someone wrote, "How do you kill? How many pills to take to kill yourself?"
Oof,
You know what I'm
jeez.
saying? We have to alert that. That's freedom of speech. They didn't. But we have to challenge that and go to authorities about that. Like, so
Right.
people talking about this freedom of speech, like, yeah, but still, like, these people. First of all, it's just like funny because a lot of these cops or undercover cops or off-duty cops were definitely part of the riots. So
Yeah.
when they were like, "Oh, some we found out there's some cops in the riots," I'm like, black people were like, "Duh, that's what we're saying."
Yeah.
And I see too. I see someone I heard made a good point. Because people were like, why didn't the police attack them harder? Well, the easier thing to say is like, they're not black, you know.
But
Um,
second of all,
the
um,
police, they
it's
follow low
I
key. They're not protesting the police, right?
well, some were part of it. There's
Exactly.
some major Virginia, the neighboring state that
Hmm.
were supposed to be one of the quick respondents because that hey, DC, Virginia, practically right there. Um, like some were part of it. So look, here's the thing: it's the standard of treatment. If you had looters and we'll get to looters in a minute. Okay, what's the difference? Um, Here's the thing with 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 um with a riot, the way it's excessive force always used, like the BLM riots, excessive force used. There's already they have barricades up. Here it was like a free for all, and it's the capital of the United States. The only other time it's been attacked is during the war 1812 by the British. Puts into perspective. And the fact that it was just like, all right, you get to just go wild, and we're not going to dispatch that many police when it's been shown so many times, freaking tanks and tear gas is quickly utilized in other riots in other parts of the country is just like something's up, and the difference here is that when you see the people who are around in the Capitol going crazy, breaking windows and storming the congressional chambers and offices. These are people with the merchandise, man, with the MAGA and Trump 2020 banners, and Confederate flags, where when you see looters in these riots, and let's say whether it's Ferguson or Minneapolis, a lot of these were opportunists. Broken windows theory. If you have a broken window in the block, right, you're gonna draw criminals. You're gonna draw crime to it. You're gonna have people that, all right, here's a BLM protest. Now's my chance to get a free TV.
Hmm.
They're not there to send a message. They're there to get free TV. We're here in the Capitol. These people were specifically bussed here by Charlie Kirk and his funded and other supporters
It's treasonous.
to for the specific act to be part of the Trump insurrection. Um, it's technically not treason because treason is when you betray your own country. It's an insurrection technically. However,
Mm.
there's been shown that
Well,
there has been foreign donors, who knows what country, right? That were donating to these little groups that went and stormed the Capitol. So that would be treason, you know. So yeah, man, that's the difference. It's not the fact. Oh, so you criticize black people, BLM just destroy their neighbor, and look and oh, you destroyed the Capitol. It's the fact of A, the message, and B, that there are looters and opportunists where those people actually associated with Trump in the Capitol. They weren't like opportunist looters. They weren't just random, people getting ready for, I'm saying, all right, I want Nancy Pelosi's computer. you know, like these were people specifically there to cause that. Or BLM, it's like you got, I'm sure there are protesters that, escalated and were violent, but a lot were proven to be looters and people who were not there for equality or accountability or racial justice. That's the difference.
yeah. It's just white people crazy, and the funny part is like
Well, there's
every black
blinders on.
person
There's
that watched
blinders
it, they're
on.
like, even though we be protesting stuff, like I'm too. I would never. I would never like. We're not
I
that
don't
bold,
justify
you know.
vandalism, man, because there's still
No,
people
wait. Who said? Whoa, whoa,
in
hold on. I
in.
never said that. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I
Even
thought
I'm
you
just
were
saying.
talking getting into that territory.
No, I'm just saying. We're saying that we even all the things that happen, we're like, yeah, we still won't go to the Capitol. And
Oh no,
we can go to politics because, like, we believe
yeah.
we'll die
No,
if
but
we.
if there was the Million Man Louis Farrakhan Million Man March, and then they went to the Capitol building, they would have been shot. They wouldn't even get a chance
No,
to.
yeah, that's why we don't do
This was
that.
like, well, let's put like two black cops to defend against the Trump crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like you could see the thing. Like if the freaking federal building. That's what people understand. Federal building, not your random Walmart. If your federal building's under attack in like quote unquote the strongest country in the world, and nothing happens, clearly those people were allowed to run rampant, go
Listen,
crazy
Target
until
is
things
more
get out of
important.
hand.
Target's more
Yeah,
important, okay?
protect the corporations, man. So
But I
you
think
know,
I gotta say the good that came out of this. If all of this didn't happen, the whole the whole impeachment happened to Trump and everything. It's kind of like in a weird way because I had a friend who was like really down with and they're like, yo, how could they just do it? I'm like, honestly, just don't worry about it. Like, this is not your fight in the sense of like, just go on with your day. Things will get handled. Like, you shouldn't have to add this stress about these
yeah,
ignorant people. And then, lo and behold, I don't know how, I don't know if he's impeached fully. I don't know exactly, but pretty much impeached. And he's losing all the benefits. And that's like the funniest thing that could happen to him. It's just like, you try to start something, and now your legacy's tarnished. You could, like, you literally had a week left just to be a good boy. And now because of this happening, you lose all the benefits and perks you would have as a benefit. You can't run in 2024, and you're shut down in all social media, and your VP,
Yep.
like your boy, your ride or die, and Mike Pence. Oh, like sometimes like damn, it's like nah, he crazy. Like everybody's turning on him. So like that's like the funniest thing to happen to someone that's
Yeah.
such a narcissistic person.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, all of this terrible stuff. And one thing I do love that black people did not get involved. I'm so happy because
Just
a
sit
lot of
back, watch.
times what we do, we see white people act stupid, and we want to go there and like, nah, I ain't scared. I'm not like this. I'll beat them up if they that racist. Um, and I'm so glad that we just sat still and watched this because if we try to react in a certain way, as I kept telling people, do not react, just sit. I didn't know all of this would happen. I was just like, this is not our fight, to the blacks. Like, this is not our fight. Let's just chill. Because if we did that, if there was one black person in the crowd, they would have auto lock on him and sniper down. So I'm so glad that we just we stayed quiet. We didn't even go to DC to like start even more beef. We just and look what happened. And all these people are getting arrested. No flight zone. So to honestly, it's even though in a weird way, it's so I'm so happy that this did happen because it exposed the government a little more and it exposed the people. Like they could get almost 10 years in jail, certain people. Um, so I look at that as a great, like, yeah, president isn't even the president anymore. It's like kind of in a weird way something good, something that's so bad and like unbelievable happen to something way better than I even expect to happen with the end results.
Yeah.
Because some of
Yeah.
these people are getting in trouble, like a lot of them are. Um, you know, whether or not the media will show it all, like a lot of these people are getting arrested, and remember, all their phones got pinged in the Capitol, and they
Oh
recorded
yeah.
this. So if they didn't get everyone, they're gonna catch a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that they're reacting because you have to punish, you know.
Yeah. Again, man, the reason there's a lot with the voting system I don't agree with, but you can't go out and cause mass hysteria and violence. 5 people died from this. One guy got tased in the balls. That's a whole other thing. Like he died from his own taser that he
Oh,
had
a
in his
cop.
pants and died from it. Yeah. So, it, right. So these 5 lives could have been spared. It doesn't matter if, oh man, this person was a saint or not.
Someone got COVID probably too. So
Oh,
there's probably
many.
extra deaths.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this would have been really big incentive to wear masks. Like, all right, we're gonna storm the Capitol. Let's wear masks. But whatever. So yeah, man, it's just the reason. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't believe the U.S. should be like a police state now. All right, no one protests, no one do anything. But there should be accountability when you go out your way to kind of overthrow an election just because you don't like the results. There's no uh,
That's literally the
proof.
most privileged thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, hey, man, it's still unfolding. There's still iconic people that have come out from there that have been arrested already. So, we'll see as it plays out, man. Anyway, all right, anime. Time for anime. Yeah, good transition to that. So, Gintama, the final movie, has been released in Japan. This is my favorite anime. That's a very big understatement, as Ray knows. And they finally beat One Piece, Demon Slayer in the box office for number one. Demon Slayer's been going strong for 12 weeks as the number one movie in Japan. Demon Slayer Infinite Train. It's funny how
Wow.
it's called Demon Slayer Infinite Train, and there's a Cartoon Network show called Infinity Train. So I'm thinking it's like some
That was a great
crossover with
show.
Demon Slayer. Yeah, I didn't see the show, but I saw the
I mean, I saw clips. I
I
saw like
saw
the
the
first episode.
yeah, that
That's but
first episode
I
with
don't know
the
if it's
yeah,
out
the
fully,
dog,
but
yeah.
but that looked dope. That I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think Cartoon Network picked it up. I was like, damn. So I don't know.
I think there is another season because
Oh,
they follow different people each season. So I think they're trying to
I'll
figure
check it
out.
out.
Yeah, so it's not just like one person. It's like different people in different trains. So I thought it was gonna be a crossover, but it's not. I've yet to watch Demon Slayer, but this is like
That's a terrible
It's
guess.
good news. It's what?
That was a terrible guess. Well, maybe they might cross over for Cartoon Network
Yeah,
show.
Infinite Train.
Yeah,
Oh,
you have to
Infinity
watch
Train.
Demon Slayer before you make that
Yeah,
judgment.
you'd be like, yikes. All right, maybe not, man. I mean, it can't be that,
So is this the last
dark.
Gintama movie ever?
Yes, you'll never hear from me again about a new Gintama property unless it's live action. Because those movies make money too, the live action ones with real actors. So yeah, it's number one. So I think it's interesting because Gintama's as old as Bleach. I think you're seeing all these shonen. I think this makes One Piece the last of like that era, that early 2000s era left. And Attack on Titan 2 is coming to a close in April. So, we're always going to have a new anime out there, people. So I think definitely it's a little personal ranking of mine. Put in good news. But yeah, Gintama's coming to an end. Definitely check it out. I think it's very underrated just because of the translation. There's no way you could translate these jokes to English, but still a show with a lot of heart, man. That's what I like. I like uh, media or people or whatever that show a lot of heart and passion and love for the genre, or what they do. So yeah, good stuff. So I put that in good news. Next, I don't know, man, what the motive is for this. Do you think this was passion or love for the language or accent?
This is just
Uh,
funny to me.
yeah, this is
Uh,
bizarre, man. This is weird
Helia,
borderline.
Helia Baldwin.
That's how
She
she would
was
say
accused of, I guess, literally Spanish voicing, or
it.
Spanish facing herself. That's a white woman. When I saw her, I was like, I mean, and this is another important tell that Spanish people and some other Hispanic people and all these other people from different eras, it doesn't matter where you, it matters where you're from, but just because you are Spanish speaking does not make you not white. You could still be white because everyone always like, oh, I'm a minority. I'm
I
Spanish.
can say the M
No,
word.
yeah, no, you're not. You are white Spanish for sure. You're white Hispanic people. There's a difference between all of these different peoples versus a Cuban, to a black Cuban, to a white Cuban. There's
Yeah,
white Cubans,
Latino
there's black
population is
Cubans,
so
because
diverse.
no one
So
understand that.
Asian,
Yeah, Asia,
there's so many.
Chinese
Latino isn't just
Jamaicans,
one
Chinese Jamaicans
race.
doesn't mean a black person.
Yeah,
Um, so,
yeah.
so going to that point, this woman is none of the above. She is just, she is a, so she claimed, and if you look at all the interviews,
Oh, we'll link the
I,
video, man. We'll
yeah,
link
we
those
have an
interviews.
interview, and she tries to be, she says, and in her interviews just smart, like when you look it back, she's like, oh yeah, my parent, me familia from Spain. She never said she's from Spain. She always said her family's from Spain, which aka no, they're not. And then they ask her, oh, what are you? So your father's half Spanish, your mom's what? Shit, well, I'm mixed up with a lot of things. That's what she says to like save up. She's just a white woman from Boston who met Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin likes Spanish women, so she was like, "I'm gonna just," and she
Did he
like
wait?
dances. She's like a
Did he marry? Was it him who married like Selma Hayek?
no. He hit on Selma
He
Hayek,
hit on Selma Hayek,
and then
so
she was like, "Oh,
ooh,
I'm
so
gonna steal her voice. I'm gonna steal
yeah,
her accent."
right.
And yeah, and I don't know if Alec believed it because in his interviews he's like, "Oh, my wife is Spanish, so she talks like like Sofia Vergara." Insert Sofia Vergara clip, stuff like that. and she legit from Boston. And the way how people found out, she was at having an interview and she was just speaking regular, and everyone's like, "Wait, she's not. She's why she sound like that? Where's her accent?" And she even did. There was one video. She was like talking about cucumber. She's like, well,
How do
how do you
you
say that?
say?
Yeah, she's like, how do you say this in English? I
Oh
was like, what?
no.
Oh,
Yep.
and yes, she speaks Spanish very well, but that doesn't mean anything. It's like me pretending I'm Mexican when I just picked it up by playing Duolingo. Duolingo, please sponsor us. I love this app. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh yeah, mi amo Andres, como estás? This it's just this has been hilarious.
Yeah.
And this is she just visit Spain. It's not like there was like any tide like she saw anything, and it just lets you know like man, white people don't want to be white. You know they don't want to be white. They're like, how can I make my stuff interesting? Yeah, so that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And it took what 50 years for the world to find out, or like 30 years or 20 years of her being
Yeah, she must
famous.
have put on,
She put
you
out a
know,
great front. Like I
good
think
front
Alex
for
really, I
first.
think he's shocked. He's like, "Whoa,
He was like, "Wow,
wow,
this
you're not a
is
Spanish woman,
shocking."
man. I need a divorce."
Yeah, right. Yeah, man, I don't get this. Is like Rachel Dolezal type stuff, but like she pulled it off longer.
Yeah,
Hilaria. Uh, and
Hilaria.
and I, yeah, man, it's just funny watching those interviews because she's trying to hide that Boston accent too. Because Boston has that accent,
And
like
it's from
it's like,
Boston.
oh,
Like
try,
if she was from
yeah,
LA, I find like
yeah,
oh well, I was born on the mid,
you
the
know,
border
Los
or Texas,
Angeles, like,
Texas. Oh, there's a
oh,
bunch of Mexicans by
Nevada,
me, like
that's
blah blah blah. But
all
her,
Mexican territory.
but her dumb behind is from
Yeah.
Boston, the most whitest place of the world, most whitest place in America. Well, not in America, but the most whitest place on the East Coast. That Connecticut and
Rhode
PA.
Island.
Yeah, but Boston has that old school whiteness, and the
Yeah.
fact she's like, I'm gonna be Spanish, is like it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Spanish face.
hilarious.
I thought it was a typo when you typed it out, the article, the
Yeah, you're
video
like, oh,
name. I
he
was like,
probably
what?
misspelled it. It's like, nope.
Hilarious? Hilarious Baldwin. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Oh, this is living double lives. Anyway, talk about living double lives. So our next, I
I
guess our next
guess
story is just the Brooklyn
it's
Nets,
basketball.
man.
Yeah,
Going sports now.
I'm
You
shocked
know,
James Harden is drafted.
drafted,
That's
traded, just
I mean, my bad. Drafted. Yeah, yeah. I mean, wow. After 10, 15 years, right? No, yeah. I'm shocked
yeah.
that when I realized there's someone in the NBA that's a big ass snitch. Because every time Stephen A's like, oh, they said James Harden's gonna he wants to go to the Brooklyn, and this was like
Mm.
months and months. I'm like,
Yeah. Yep.
why? First of all, that will never happen. Two, how are they gonna do it? Three, they
Yep.
did it. I was
They
like,
did
all
it.
right, someone is snitching because they always be right with the speculation. Someone's
Yep.
like, this is gonna happen. Yeah, I was shocked, even though that was speculated, and I should just stop being shocked. I'm like this looks great when you play fantasy. If you're playing fantasy
Oh
basketball,
yeah.
greatest team of all time.
Yeah. Oh
But in
yeah.
reality, I don't
NBA
know, man.
2K. Yep.
I don't know, man.
Here's the thing, man. The reason why it's happened now and not months ago, is because of the Kyrie Irving stuff. So
Oh, good
Kyrie's been
segue.
had a very interesting 2020 in the sense that he's done a lot of things, man. He's whether you agree or not, I'll just go through the list. You know what I'm saying? Criticize the media, like, hey, I'm not going to speak to the media. Donate a lot to activist groups, pro racial equality, civil rights activist groups. He's done a lot of things, whether it's good or bad or weird. He's been known to be a flat earther, all this stuff, right? So this week, he's just took a day off, man. He was out for personal reasons, right? So everyone's like, oh, was there a funeral? You know what I'm saying? Was someone really sick, right? Like Carl Anthony Towns, unfortunately, had to deal with that with family. Other players have been, funerals, and had to take some time off mentally, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was is a video similar to James Harden. It's a video, but this time the video was Kyrie at his sister's birthday dancing, no mask. Probably the whole family and friends in the big, crowded room, all dancing, partying, and meanwhile the Nets are like playing the 76ers or whatever for like first place. So you didn't
Wow.
report to work and you got caught, man. Imagine, hey, I call out sick, Andre, I'm sick. You know, personal reasons, right? You're like, oh man, and then you see on Facebook the next day or TikTok or whatever, Instagram, and you see me just partying, like, hey, happy birthday, whoever, and so yeah, man, it's bizarre. Like you could celebrate your sister's birthday, right? Outside of work hours. You work from like 8 to 12. You know what I'm saying? You could stop by at 6 p.m. You could stop by, you're playing in Brooklyn maybe. I don't know if they're playing Brooklyn. Let's say you partying in Brooklyn. Okay. I'll see you later, sis. Happy birthday. For him to take out a game off for personal reasons, then announce he's going to leave for a week. Just like that, bro. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a week. They're like, all right, we got to get James Harden now because he was on Zoom with the name Kai Irving, probably his nickname. Kai, or I don't know. I'd like
Mm-hmm.
to think it's an alter ego. You know what I'm saying? Alter ego. Like Trump's alter ego, John Barron. Like that. Anthony Weiner's alter ego, Carlos Danger. Like that. Kai Irving. Um, Again, man, like they were playing the Knicks, and Kyrie was just on a Zoom call with like a bunch of other like celebrities for like a politician conference or something seminar. And Kyrie, you could do this stuff after the game, man. Like you wait, you just need to take the train to the Madison Square Garden, right? Or go to the Barclay. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
and
Jason.
then you could
Jason,
go and
listen. You're messing up. You're messing
oh,
everything up right now.
oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
He's boycotting the Knicks. So because they threw Stanley out, I mean, they threw Spike
Spike
Lee
Lee.
out. So that's why he. All right, like you have to understand what Kyrie's
The
doing.
best boycott is to
He's
beat them.
he is the best thing by not watching the Knicks play
uh,
is to boycott. Okay,
yeah,
and
he
not
oh
showing
no, he
up.
probably was watching the Knicks play while on the Zoom call,
He's like, oh shoot,
bro. Like
yo, I
he
never met a. I mean, I never met him. I never heard of a man that just don't care. There was a quote that he made years ago.
mm.
He's when he was like 25. He's 29 now, I
Okay,
believe.
so it's like he's still on the Cavs, right?
Yeah, he was like
Or
this. One of his friends said he'll be fudge. He'll be the next Interblink. Basically, his friend made a comment saying that he doesn't see him playing till he's 29. He's the type of player that because of the media and everything,
yeah.
he'll just leave in his prime.
Yeah. I think that's another thing Stephen A. Smith said, like just retire, man. If you have priorities, of course. You know what I'm saying, man? Basketball, I think basketball isn't just life. It's not just shut up and dribble. Like you can do other things, political activists, all this stuff, be with family. I get
Hmm.
it, but um, you're still part of the business, man. People are still looking up to you and counting on you to still do your job, being paid 33
Oh, I found
million.
the quote.
You know what I'm
Kyrie
saying?
Irving, his friend said Kyrie Irving could be the NBA's next Lauren Hill.
Yeah, yeah, I see it, man. I see it
Hmm.
now. Being a Nets fan, I want what's best for not just yeah the team win, but like if Kyrie really doesn't want to play, man, like just then and there, it doesn't matter if you're in your prime. He's like what 28, 29. Why not? Hey, walk away from it while you still can instead of play the next 3 years or next 2 years on the Nets and play like either not show up or just um, play like basketball without. Like I said earlier, if you're doing something, you do it with passion. Playing basketball without passion when you don't want to, you know.
Yeah.
So Yeah, if he wants to, or maybe it's a small thing, man. Maybe it's a small bump in the road. Like, hey, he really does need this mental week to like, just give himself a vacation, a break. But man, he's only played like 25 games as a net. So and there's been like 2 years already, like 2 season, 1.5 seasons, barely, right? Because they only played like what 50 games, 60 games, and
Yeah,
then the
like
bubble,
60, yeah,
and he wasn't even
something, yeah.
playing in the bubble. So and even on the Celtics, he was like never healthy. So he always got injuries. So I think that's the thing, man. If it's like a short term thing, okay, sure. It still isn't right. He's still got to face a fine or something, or suspension. But um, if it's long term, man, yeah, just call it quits right now. Go on to the next chapter, you know. But you look at Kobe. Kobe did, and you can't compare everyone. You know what I'm saying? But like Kobe did everything. But Kobe knew methodically, okay, what's my priority right now, and this.
Yeah, then they ball basketball is I mean, if you're a parent, then parenting is number one, and being a
Yeah,
husband and father.
yeah.
But besides that, basketball's number one over everything.
Well, if you're paid 33 mil, it's tough, man. This it's tough to
No, yeah, it's
when
it's
when
it's
you're
it's your number.
your
Like
poster.
there's
It's giving
NBA
you a
players
platform.
that want to be
We
rappers, just
wouldn't know
like
who he would be,
yeah, if there's NBA
unless
players that want to be
yeah,
rappers, like yeah, sure,
yeah,
cool rap,
scientists.
but
Go ahead.
make sure you focus on basketball because if you don't have basketball, the rapping might die if you're not good enough. Make sure you focus on the thing that got you there. Like at the end,
Yeah,
there's like, yo, I'm not just a ball player. Yeah, but you are a ball player. That is
yeah,
your number one thing you're known for and you do. So
yeah,
you got to keep that in mind.
yeah. So hey, if it's like Kyrie Irving's friend said, like, hey, yeah, just retire now, man, so you don't have to be in that position. So
Or join the podcast, Kyrie. We
yeah,
would love to have
join
you on
us on
Chair
Tier
Boys.
Boys, man.
Yeah, even though
Maybe.
you would never show up because once we sign you, you will never show up. But we'll at least
He
say,
on
hey,
the
we got
other Zoom
Kyrie on our
call.
team.
He's out for personal reasons. So yeah, man, I get it. Celebrate your sister's birthday. Be out there with politicians. Be politically active. That's one thing that I think. It isn't mutually exclusive. Being a human being, like being an athlete and being a human being, I think they're pretty connected, if you ask me. But
Hmm.
I think at the end of the day, if you just gotta play 3 hours on the court, or like do some pregame warm up for like 2 hours, you know what I'm saying, warm up and drills. Yeah, do it, because a lot of people, man, if they just hired a bunch of amateurs like us in a way, hey, I'd be down to join the NBA and do that. Be in that position, working 40 hours a week, barely. Obviously you have to be the first in the gym, that mentality. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Kyrie's just doing that, doing all workouts and stuff. But he's like, all right, let me let me have some fun and some activism too. But Kyrie, it's during the game. That's the only problem. So I don't know, man. It's still unfolding. I think James Harden's has insurance. Like they are now or never. We're not gonna get better if we don't get James Harden. Sure. I think Karis LeVert is a really good player. I think Jared Allen were really good players. But I think James Harden's just there to someone to kind of keep Kyrie not in check, but you know what I mean? As like, hey, if Kyrie is just retiring tomorrow, James Harden's here. If you ask me, James Harden's the better player and is willing to give Brooklyn a try. As much drama as James Harden brings on his end too. So we'll see. We'll see, man. Interesting developments in New York sports as always. But yeah, our last story. I guess this is a appropriation story, man. This is interesting what you sent me. Where are we putting this? Mahjong, American style.
Um,
This
yeah,
is
so I guess a
probably the
backstory. Uh, White people thought, hey, it's cool. Let's rebrand a ancient Chinese game and hey, you know, just make it a little more fun and make it American stylish, you know,
Mm.
and sell the pieces for like $400. And they made it very cutesy. They got pink sets. And this is expensive sets, and a lot of people are like,
That's the biggest crime, having it
yeah,
be like
yeah,
$400. The
and
biggest
it's
injustice.
definitely not that. It's basically chess in a way of like you could find that in any price range and everything. But everything's $400. It's like made cute, and they're like explaining it. It's just like you just took a bunch of people's. It's like me say, okay, I want to make music, so I don't want people to sing. I want to make a music that you kind of talking but fast, but in the kind of poetry and you
Uh,
rhyme. I'm gonna call that
wait, doesn't.
American.
Uh huh.
No, no, no. I'm gonna call
Does
that
that exist?
American
Does
hop
that
swag.
that exist though? I thought it was
No, no,
rap.
no, no. But
No?
once I rename it, and then it's gonna be different. And that's what they that's what they just did. Y'all just renamed something that was already made. And honestly, this I always be saying this, and this is not always to talk about white people, but um, white people are
Oh
probably
no.
if there's the one talent they have is like I'm talking about as a not individually white people. I'm talking about like of if we're
These type
stereotyping
of
like
news
the thing.
stories you hear,
Yeah,
like with
these type of news
Soho
stories.
Karens and
I'm saying
yeah.
they are the they are the best marketers ever because they out here trying
Mm.
to make you believe that they started that, you know, just like how country and the blues and funk, you know, and rock, like
Mm.
how you when you think about it, you think, oh, there, that's white stuff. But reality is like, no, that didn't originate from white people,
Yep.
but you know, people like Elvis are, oh, all right, yeah. Well, Elvis is the king of rock, so it has to
Mm.
be white, right? Um, so and this is another example of just all right, we're just gonna remarket this. But unfortunately, this didn't work out. Asian people's like, oh hell no, we got time today, and they definitely put a shutdown to that. And I think this company is on a pause right now.
Yeah, I don't think they're like
Um,
canceled. Like
yeah.
because I think in a way, man, it's innocent enough. Like, oh, let's appeal to, let's market, like you said, like let's market this. Like Americans can relate to this. The problem is like there's a lot of. It's like with Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? It's like with food. Like you can enjoy Chinese food and all that, but what about the people making it? You know,
Mm,
where we're going through in this country where our president calling what the China flu or the Wu flu or all this the virus the China virus and people getting Chinese people Asian people really getting attacked like oh you started this or and there's a history in America of the Chinese Exclusion Act and the not even just to talk about Chinese people, but uh, the internment camps.
hmm
Put Japanese Americans in, and you know, what's the word? I guess dehumanizing other Asian citizens or immigrants, in this country, where it is like I don't think there's anything wrong with putting a spin on a game. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think there's anything wrong with putting a spin on a game. Like for example, if like you put chess, and you make chess into like Monster Hunter pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like all right,
Yeah,
here's monster. But
yeah,
here's the
that's
thing.
called freaking Fire Emblem.
But yeah, yeah, the Japanese did it. The British, or I
But
don't even know if chess is
there's a
British.
way to do
But
it,
here's
you
the
know.
thing. But no, here's the thing. With that is widely accepted, and it comes from Europe, and it's been an accepted game. Chess has been an accepted game. European people have been more and more accepted or tolerated or prioritized in this country. Asian people haven't. So then when you prioritize a game and I guess Americanizing it over the people, Americanizing those people, saying go back to your country, but we'll keep your game. It kind of sends a bad message, man. I don't
You know
think
how
they
much
had
people
the
love Mexican food but hate
exactly,
Mexicans?
exactly.
Like,
Who
yo, let's
doesn't
keep
like
your food.
tacos, man? Taco Tuesdays or Taco Thursdays, but kick out the Mexicans. Exactly. There's gonna be a taco truck on every corner. I
Yeah, but
still am waiting for that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for it. I'd be hyped if there's a taco truck on every corner, but uh, don't have Mexican people making it. So I don't think it came from a malicious place like the designer or the president of the company. She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I did this." Apologized, took it off the
yeah, it was
market.
like a dumb
You know what I
little
mean?
kid mistake. Just to me, it's
But
just like as a whole,
yeah,
this isn't like a new thing they do
it's
as a
not.
whole. It's just
Yeah,
like y'all gotta learn better. Like this is like very small minded, but
yeah.
I know,
Compared
but
to like
I
dressing or speaking,
speaking like you think
you
you're from
know.
Spanish, but like I said, I only knew about this story because a lot of my like, Asian friends was like they were
Yeah,
posting about it and they were like
yeah,
posting about it for days, like boycott this thing, like
yeah. I don't think
because
I'm as heated like to boycott it, but
I
there is
mean,
that
one is like
trend.
boycott is like well,
It
no one's
doesn't
gonna
mean
buy
like burn it to the
400
ground. It just means
pieces.
like don't buy this.
Yeah, because I
For
mean, it's
$1 per piece.
$400, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, there's nothing wrong with if they made an app of it. That's not wrong. It's just like you said, like
Or
the
custom
rebranding.
designs, like you had the
Yeah,
original
that's
and
cool. That's a cool idea. Like I'm not against all that. Listen, I'm
well,
all for
people, tier boys, mahjong
Mahjong Chair Boys. Listen, I'm all
is
for that. It's just kind of like glossing over where you. It's like me finding out like about
or
boba
like you
tea,
said with
and
rap.
then I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna just open a bubble tea shop, and I kind of don't give the homage of where it came from or whatever. Like, created by me, I made this. I call it circle ball tea, and people are like, bro, this is pearls in it. This is bubble tea. I'm like, and bubble tea. I'm like, no, it's not. It's circle tea. I
yeah,
created it. You
yeah,
know, this is American version. It's like, but it's
yep,
not.
yep.
And that's the thing. It's not even like being like even PC about it. It's just like we gotta. Like I said.
You gotta
I think
accept the people. You can't
yeah.
just accept the
It's
culture
it's
and
bigger
reject the
than
people.
this company, this
You know?
situation is going on
Yeah,
because they do
yeah,
this with rap. Like probably 30, 20 years from now, rap is gonna be so white, and we're like, what? Black people came up with it, you know?
yeah. Right.
They're like really quick. There's a kid named I think his name is
Oh,
like
I don't think it'll be like that in 30 years, but I see what you mean, man.
I
Like,
think there's
yeah,
a kid named Kid. I think his name is Kid Icarus or something. Kid
don't know.
Icarus, whatever. I don't know how to say his
Yeah,
name. And he has like a song with a guy named NBA Youngboy or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
And he's rapping like people like him. Honestly, if I didn't, I thought it was a black. If I heard him, oh, this is some
yeah.
black kid rapping. Um, he ends up saying, "Oh, yo, I got more streams than Kendrick." Right? He
Mm,
basically, and he showed it like he posted on spot like on his IG.
yeah.
Come to find out, it's that's not even the case.
Mhm.
He just made it to look fake.
Yeah, you could
So
Photoshop.
he added it, photoshopped it to look like he had more
Yeah,
Kendrick.
why you
It's
gotta
like,
disrespect Kendrick?
yeah,
So it's the same thing. It's
and
like
that's
why
like
you
in the
gotta
same boat.
disrespect the
It's the
people,
same boat. It's like, bro, if you just stay in your lane. Like people like him, you know.
I wouldn't say even stay.
No, by staying
I'm
in your lane, like
different. Like,
staying in your
yeah,
lane is like, yo, do what you're doing. Don't over like you don't have to overzealous things.
yeah,
Like this guy, he's likable. This kid, you know, this could have been a good company. Even let's say people want to pay 400 for it, pay 400 for it.
right. And then
But
go
the
around dissing Kendrick.
yeah,
I'm not
but
gonna Kendrick stan, but you gotta degrade established rapper who has probably done more for the rap community and black community than you have. You
yeah,
know.
he's this young boy. He's like, oh, you know, he's like sound like little Playboy Cardi babies.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, man, that's the thing. And I don't think there's any disrespect from this company, but yeah, there could be a lot of ignorance where things come from, and how is treated. Oh, look at those. Let's say Chinese people doing some weird game, and then oh yeah, we'll make it our game. And there are like white people, hey, they're willing to, ooh, I want to try that game or this game, it's very interesting, respectfully. But yeah, man, it's like with hair. You make fun of black women hair for so long, and then now it's like, oh, this is the fashion, eh? Like
Yeah, let me
what
get an
the
afro.
heck?
Yeah.
But reject black women themselves. So that's more my problem. It's not the fact of doing it, but why? I mean the background behind it. Where you're gonna benefit off this when there's probably been quite a few Chinese American or Japanese or Asian, let's say board game manufacturers or toy stores that have tried to sell their game or mahjong and they haven't had luck. But then
Hmm.
you're gonna, I guess, win it or you know make success off of it. So yeah, man. The symbols and stuff. I think it's innocent enough, but then when you put in the context of, okay, what about all those other people that have been, especially Asian Americans, who've been rejected or culture's been rejected or they've been rejected, sometimes for even playing it, you know. So yeah, but I still think it should be. I think it still would be nice to still play it. Like, hey, they could manufacture mahjong still, you know, spread it that way. And once people kind of familiar, what I'm saying, with those traditional pieces, hey, you could branch out, sure, or another thing the article said, it's a company owned by all white women. Have some people familiar with it. Who's more familiar with it than the people who have originated with it? Chinese people been experts with it, or Chinese Americans. Who knows? Probably seen their grandparents play it. Who grew up with that. So yeah, yeah, that's about it, man. Um, I think it's bad news. I think it's good news in the outcome, but bad news in, like, hey, it's more indicative of a bigger problem with, like, I don't want to throw the word cultural appropriation out there, but you know what I'm saying, man?
No, I
American
get no.
like Western
It to me,
rebranding.
like I guess
You know
we're
what
on
I'm
the
saying?
same boat. It's just the bigger problem. Like this is very low scale, but it's just like here y'all go do something that is just
Yeah,
like it's just history, like with the marketing and how they are kind of like, oh, I didn't know what.
yeah. It's again
Oh,
like if you changed, let's say, it's kind of like when you cast white people as like Japanese, anime Japanese characters, and you market it like,
yeah,
oh,
it's not
white
the
people
worst
have a
thing in the
bigger
world, but it's
draw.
like it's just like
That type of
really,
marketing.
it's like
Yeah.
really.
Well, it's like, Ghost in the Shell or um, Death Note. You know what I mean? Like, those are Japanese people. Like, come on. You're not going to have the Naked Brothers band play Light Yagami, right? What's his name? Light Turner.
Yeah.
Like, come on. The American audience. Yeah. Anyway, man, it's been good, Dre. We're out of time now, but it's good to kind of get back on track with this, man. Especially, as always, kind of moving out and about with our lives. So yeah, you have any closing shout outs or anything, man? Someone kind of give a last minute shout out to who?
Dang, unfortunately, no. I couldn't think of anyone. I was about to
Yeah, yeah. I'm
plug
trying.
Mancha's IG, but I forgot their name.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I
and I
I
don't think
was.
they wanted to be plugged. Yeah.
Yeah, I was floating
So,
around new rebranding names, but our friend
mhm.
takes good friend to me, but we'll do it for a hundred
Very
k
good
a
friend to
hundred
you.
k special. You'll see, reveal, right? But yeah, check out Matchaholic or their new name on Instagram, and that's our shout out for the week. So take care, people.
Yeah, they know a great matcha spot, so check out their recommendations.
All right, man. But yeah, yeah, good talking with you. You know, as we're all moving out and about around the country. You know, stay safe out there. And Dre, send us out.
Tear boys out.